So what is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we got some more Call of Duty news, I guess, and some interesting stuff I'll get to later, some pretty funny stuff. But first I want to start off with this from Charlie Intel that I missed, saying the rumors of Call of Duty 2025 so far are the campaign set in 2035, sequel to Black Ops 2, multiplayer omni movement with wall running to include BO2 maps remastered in a futuristic theme, also include new maps, zombies, round-based content returns, potential transit type map at launch. And to be honest, at face value, a lot of this doesn't really sound that bad. I for one very much enjoyed the BO2 maps, like pretty much most if not all the BO2 maps I really enjoyed. One of my favorite Call of Duty games, definitely. But I've also seen the opinion a lot that with the trend of SBMM and the tightness and the strictness of the matchmaking like increasing every single year, it seems like pretty much almost nobody is excited to be playing on old maps with this new SBMM experience, because it's pretty much basically going to ruin the legacy of all of these maps. Now, I can't even begin to say how long most of us have been wishing for a BO2 remaster, but I don't think this is the way a lot of us wanted it to happen, because with the wall running and double jumping leaks and everything like that, it seems like Activision are trying to bring back jetpack CODs for some fucking reason, and you already know what their plan is basically all they're gonna do is basically, they know full well that we are pretty much tired of double jumping and jetpack CODs and everything. They know we're tired of that, so they're gonna shit out Black Ops 2 remastered with this shit, the double jumping and the wall running and everything. And then when Modern Warfare 4 comes out, or whatever 2026's game is, they're gonna pretend like they've listened to us and take it out of the game, and they're gonna plaster the marketing with like, oh, we've gone back to the roots, we're boots on the ground again, and everything's gonna be better. We're listening to you guys, trust me, we're listening. And I can already see this shit from a mile away. It's just a ploy. It smells of bullshit. I seriously cannot remember anybody asking for a jetpack COD, and they damn well know that, which is why they're gonna pretend after this game that they're actually listening by removing it, even though they probably never intended to keep this as a feature. They just wanted it as a gimmick for a game, so when they eventually remove it, they can pretend again that they're listening to us, when really they're just doing whatever the hell they want. And I'm kind of sick of it, to be honest, because all I want is for this game to just not follow this bullshit yearly release cycle, so we can actually get some good 2 or so year development cycle that isn't just gonna be wasting time like it seems to have been for a lot of the past recent previous COD games. If we just had that, and just had that kind of thing updated constantly without SBMM and without shoving in your face all the skins and bundle bullshit, then we would almost be golden. But as things stands now, I just can't imagine what they think is gonna happen by implementing this wall running and double jumping type shit into a game with maximum SBMM. That shit is just not gonna go over well with the community, and there is no shot that they don't know that. There's just no way that they don't realize that, so I really don't know what they're planning here. All I could say is maybe they actually are trying to kill this game, because it would be so easy to make a Call of Duty game that pleases at least most people, or at the very least doesn't piss everybody off. All you have to do is just go on anywhere where hardcore Call of Duty fans are, any Call of Duty subreddit, the comment sections of popular Call of Duty YouTubers, Twitter. But then again, I know some Twitter fanboys can be absolutely brain dead and absolutely say the most ridiculous, outrageous ideas to fuel Activision's head. So then again, I don't know about that. So maybe they shouldn't listen to everybody, but they should at least know the people who have actually been playing their games for a while, and listen to people who actually know what they're talking about, and then we might start to get somewhere. But just to move on from that a little bit, the zombies aspect is I mean, to be honest, I don't really know what to expect, because all we've really been given so far in terms of leaks is round-based content returns and potential transit type map at launch. And for once, I'm actually excited to see what this type of technology current day could do with a project like transit, because if they actually had this type of technology when they're actually developing transit back in the day, then it could have actually been one of the all-time greats. Now, I'm not saying it's the fucking worst map and it's complete dog shit. It is seriously limited by the consoles it was on and everything like that, and just the scope of what they were able to do back in the day on those machines. But in terms of just going on with your friends sometimes and having some fun, it actually had the potential to be one of the greats if it was just done at a better time, I suppose, and had a few better ideas kind of changed and tweaked tweaked and implemented a little bit. So I guess I'll see what Treyarch has to offer for this new transit type map, but I'm really not gonna hold my breath because with the track record that Treyarch has had this year, I don't really know if I should be looking forward to zombies at all, because if you've watched me for a little bit now, you'll know I made a video a little while ago now that basically kind of helped expose the AI slop that is going into zombies as well. We all know how the shop and the store and battle pass and everything like that, loading screens, all pretty much AI slop, most if not all. But I was actually shocked to see that it turns out most of the assets and actual art in the zombies maps are straight up just AI slop. And now that I think about it, I really don't know why I was surprised at that, because this is Activision we're talking about. And the Treyarch that made Black Ops 6 and is making Black Ops 7 is by no means the same Treyarch that made Black Ops 2 back in the good old days, so I really don't know what I was expecting. These companies are pretty much cutting corners wherever they can, so it is what it is really. So just that fact alone kind of makes me really not look forward to the zombies that much. I mean, I'll still try and enjoy the gameplay, but just knowing most of the shit is AI slop kind of just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, you know? Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, now we get into something really funny actually, something hilarious I actually want to share in this video before I end it off. Last video, I had maybe 1 or 2 people talking shit in my comments as usual. You know, there are always gonna be some Activision fanboys wherever you are on the internet. There just will be some people who just die hard defend Activision till their last breath. Who fucking knows why they do that shit? Maybe they just love gargling Activision's balls, who knows? But anyway, I really just wanted to read some of this stuff to you because it just shows you the type of brain dead logic that some people use to defend Activision, and it's just crazy to me sometimes, and some of my replies are pretty hilarious, so I just wanted to read them off a little bit. So to start off, this guy says, "I've been hearing the shit since World of War and you're not changing shit," which I hearted the comment because, you know, it's fair enough, people have been complaining, like even if Call of Duty actually listened to what we say half the time, like you're never really gonna please everybody all at once, that's just how it is. So I heard the comment and I just said, "Fair, but just so you know, I'll be teabagging you if I ever see you with a store bundle skin," which I think is fair. I mean, if you are buying Activision skins in this day and age, in this fucking economy, in these times that they're running things this shittily, then you should expect to be teabagged whenever I see you with a fucking bundle skin. So then he comes back and says, "Guess what, clown? I don't buy skins, not unless they're free for PS Plus or Battle Pass." Which I just say, how is this a flex? Because I'm thinking to myself, I don't know, like, I don't really understand what this reply is supposed to mean. Is this, like, is he bragging that he gets free skins? I'm just confused at this point. So I had to come back and pour the cold water on his head, like, I hate to break it to you, but playing this game at all is the opposite of a flex. Which, when you think about it, it really is the opposite of a flex. There are so much better games you could be playing, like actually fun games that recently came out. Expedition 33, Splitgate 2's around the corner, literally anything. But then he comes back to say to me, "No, not really. The only ones that be hating are the people that says the game sucks and then says it's good after a few years." And I don't think he actually understands what he's talking about. Maybe this guy's never heard the phrase hindsight's 2020, but at first I actually genuinely did not understand what he was trying to say. But then he comes back to clarify and says, "Nah, I understand you can't read it all, but let me summarize to you. Basically, newer CODs are hated, and when that COD turns into a year or older COD, that's when people start glazing. Huge example of Ghost, one of the worst COD out there, but definitely way worse than BO6. The same goes with BO2 when it was dropped. Everyone hated it, not saying it's BO2. To be honest, I'm really not trying to read all this shit. You can pause the video if you really want to read his whole essay, but I'm gonna get into my own essays in a second, just bear with me. But just to summarize what he says, it's basically like he's defending Activision because he's saying that newer games are harder to make, I guess, and there's lots of bugs because we're in a new engine and the power on your hardware is easy to mess up, but apparently I'm not ready for that topic because I'm the type of person to keep hating on new things without understanding the real reason behind it and just goes off by anyone's opinion. What the fuck is he talking about? You tell me. I have no idea. But I just had to come back and hit him with the, "Hey, leave that billion-dollar company alone. They only had 4 years and thousands of devs to develop a bundle store with a shit game attached to it." And then I go on to say, "Are Activision's balls so far down your throat that you can't think for yourself? Nobody said every new COD that drops is automatically bad and every past one is suddenly peak. If you can't handle me criticizing your favorite game, maybe take a second to think about why it's so hated on. Shit barely works a quarter of the time, and yet has over 200 bundles over $30 within 6 months of release. It's clear they don't give a single fuck. I've played older games made by a handful of devs that run better and are actually fun without having to manipulate and rig the game. Keep commenting, by the way. I love it, you absolute fool. COD gooch lickers never fail to crack me up, which is exactly the same message I have to anybody who thinks like this guy. Like, if you're just gonna sit there and defend the billion-dollar company that can't manage their games right and actually seek actively to fuck their players over at any turn, then you can go and fuck off with whatever opinions you have, because they straight up do not matter. His next comment basically says that he agrees with all the coiny skins and the cheaters are bad and everything like that, but he basically says that he's only experienced a tiny bit of the problems, that all the bugs are mainly on PC or whatever, that everyone overcomplicates minor problems to turn it into a huge problem, and then he tries to say that I'm a Blame Truth clone, which is actually hilarious to me. So he's trying to compare me to Blame Truth and basically say that I only make videos for views, which is actually an insane take, considering I literally have never made a dime from any YouTube video ever. And I just had to come out here and slap him in the face and say, bro was really fighting for his life out here while I was having a good ass sleep. Morning, Gooch Licker. Are you pretending to be dumb on purpose? Of course some people will have fun on older games when SBMM is lighter and more people have moved on. That doesn't make it glazing, dumbass. And nah, I'm not Blame Truth, and I don't give a shit about drama. I just want the franchise I love to stop going down the shitter. I've never been paid for a single one of these videos, dumbass. So there goes that argument. Why do all these COD fanboys lack critical thinking? And I also had to top it off with, by the way, it's great you haven't experienced most issues on console, and that's good for you, but just because you're not experiencing most problems doesn't mean others are not, and they don't exist. That's called being selfish and living in a bubble. If you're gonna try and defend your precious billion-dollar company, at least have a good reason. He then goes on to spout some shit about me loving drama and being like Blame Truth and Nero Cinema and only wanting views and being greedy for views and all this same bullshit argument that all the COD gooch lickers and fanboys have. It's really nothing new. But finally, I just had to end it off with, your brain is so fried, bro. Yes, I'm talking about how COD needs to be improved, but secretly I don't want it to be improved, dumbass. The fuck does that mean? If you actually watched any of my vids, you'd know I talk about the whole spectrum, good and bad. Speaking of spectrum, you must definitely be on it, considering you can't comprehend the thought of someone wanting the game they used to love be great again. All you say is Blame Truth this and Nero that. You really gotta take a second to remove their balls from your throat, lil bro. When the fuck did I say I don't care? If I didn't care, I wouldn't be pushing so hard for improvements without ever making a single dime. Think before you type, retard. It's not hard. It's always the you just want views argument with dummies like you. Did you just find out views are the main reason for YouTube? This guy cannot be older than 10. I'm gonna keep talking my shit on this game every fucking day if it will make brainless fools like you cry and whine. Stay mad, dumbass. Finally, I say, I hope Activision at least pay you well for all this dick sucking. So yeah, I know I didn't really have to read that whole fucking thing. I know that was long as fuck, guys. I'm sorry, I just had to talk your ear off real quick, but I just really felt like going through that because there's a lot of people that are actually fucking stupid and have the same arguments as this guy and actually agree and actually think this way. So I just had to come out here and put it in this video just to give you other COD fanboys and gooch lickers some more meat to choke on, because this is basically gonna be my response to anybody else that has dumbass arguments like this. So think twice before you come into my comment section acting like a dumbass, thinking you're not gonna get the shit roasted out of you for being an absolute idiot and not thinking before you speak. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video today. Don't be like this fool. Subscribe if you enjoyed it, smash that like button if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, and yeah guys, have a good one. Peace.